So what's up guys, in this video we're going to talk about success and trusting the process, and if you want success what you need to do, what my experiences are with the process of gaining success, and just talking about people and how they act. Either way, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to talk about the fact that people lack vision. I think most people, when they're starting something, they lack a vision for the future. They don't keep going. This could be the gym. It's an easy example. For example, when people go to the gym, they lack the vision of the future. They don't have that aesthetic. They might have an idea of an aesthetic body, but they're not motivated enough to achieve it. They're kind of just going to the gym, kind of like in the process, of doing things. And so, due to the fact that they're not really spending much time trusting in the process, and they lack that vision for the future, they cannot attain what they want ever, because they just don't have enough of a strong vision to go for it. So this pretty much goes into the next point: sacrificing for goals. If you really want to get your vision right and you want to achieve your goals, you're going to have to sacrifice in some form or another. This, for me, if I talk about I suppose I'll talk about my own experience later, but this could be like sacrificing relationships, friendships, cutting people off if you have to, and you have to make some time sacrifice. You can't go out all the time and things like that if you want success in a certain area. It depends what you're doing and how much free time you have and what kind of things. If you're just going for a normal college thing, you could probably still have free time plenty. But if you're trying to do multiple things at once, it's gonna be hard. Like college and running a business or something like that, or trying to start one while you're in college, that's very difficult. And that's where you're pretty much gonna have to sacrifice in some form or another for your goals. And if they're not big, then you can adjust as you wish. But I would say I'm mostly talking to people who are actually ambitious and have big goals, and those people are the ones who have to sacrifice, like myself. Now you have to have that long-term mindset with everything. It's like you have to think a year ahead, 5 years ahead, and 10 years ahead. You have to have plans for all these things, or at least like a 1 year and a 10-year plan. So in 10 years, where do you want to be with your goals? And in 1 year, what do you want to achieve? That's how at least I do it. The 5 years, you can leave it up to if you want to plan for that. But I prefer the year and 10-year plans. I think that works best. So for a year, you plan out what you want to achieve this year, all the specific goals, and for 10 years, where you approximately want to be, in your own opinion, what you could achieve. Now your long-term mindset, for it to work, your goals need to be big enough for that to work, and it has to be exciting in a sense. It can't just be, oh yeah, I'll have this little thing achieved, like, oh yeah, I'll get like 1,000 subscribers in 10 years. Like, that's dumb. Okay, you need to have big goals in life, if that's what you're after anyway. This could be anything really. You have a goal on maybe your perfect body in 10 years. You need to think big. And it's very hard if you want success, trusting the process. And I'm going through this myself right now, trusting the process. I'm making this YouTube channel. It's more of a side thing, to be honest, but I take it quite seriously, and I take the social media stuff pretty seriously, and I want to teach people, and I want to offer value and everything, and I take this pretty seriously. And it's not easy to be consistent with the content and do all these things. And it's the same thing if with any kind of a business or anything. It's very hard to be consistent, but it really depends on your goals. It can be easier to be consistent if you're just like, if your goals are a bit smaller, I would say, or you're not doing multiple things at once. So this is where I would say, like, try to focus on a few things at a time so you don't overreach if you have big goals. And that's one problem I've been struggling with, is I do too much. So I'm trying to cut down on what I can so that I can focus on a few things at once. And I'm going through that hard period myself of trusting in the process, trying to figure it out, go through all the emotions. I'm not, like, I haven't made it yet by any means, so I have a lot of work to do. And now I'm in that like gray struggle period still, sort of. So it's very hard. in this period, like it's easy to give up. Like there's basically the start, and then there's that like gray period where you're basically going to be stuck for a while till you see that success, and then you rise up from the gray period or gray area, I suppose. It's going to be a certain amount of time. It's always going to be different. This gray period which you have to go through, where you're not going to see the success, you're not going to be motivated to do the things, or disciplined maybe to do, or you don't want to do the things you're doing most likely, or you're going to lose motivation eventually, and you have to use discipline and just your passion and going for those goals that you have set, and that's what you think about. You don't think about it like day to day and like, oh, I'm never gonna make it or whatever in whatever you're doing. You have to just have that long term vision, trust it, and go through the gray area so that you can get to the top. And that's pretty much what you have to do. In my own experiences with trusting the process, when it comes to the gym, I wouldn't say I struggled a huge lot because I was very motivated. I was very motivated to get jacked in the gym, so that was not hard for me in a weird way. Like I was very motivated by the strength numbers I was hitting at the gym, so that kind of kept me going, and my body got more aesthetic over time. And as my body kept getting more aesthetic, I was more happy with my physique, which in turn, seeing the results made me even more happy to go to the gym, and then it just became more of an addiction. And the mental release of going to the gym, for example, helps a lot with the motivation as well. So it's kind of like all these things compound over time, and it makes things easier with trusting the process. And now I'm in that phase where I don't get as many gains maybe, but it's easy for me to trust the process because I still enjoy all these aspects and I still have that compound effect going on. So that's very easy. Now, otherwise, trusting the process in terms of like a business sense, that's where you need to, like I would say the gym is still fairly easy if you put in the work, and success is fairly guaranteed if you know what you're doing. But when it comes to business is a bit more random, and you can't always predict what's going to happen, so there's going to be ups and downs, like in everything in life. And with business, you're going to have to, at least in my own experience, you're really going to have to stick through it and just like, I wouldn't say hope for the best, but put your best effort in, and you know, luck is basically what happens when you put in a bunch of effort, and eventually that effort is kind of rewarded through luck. Because if you're consistently putting out effort, you're bound to get lucky in some way or another. That's kind of how things work usually. And if they don't work like that for you, then you kind of have to keep going. Either way, like if you get lucky or don't, you know, just focus on the small wins. Like maybe you just got like your first sale or your fifth sale in your business. You focus on that, and then you keep going if you don't have that like big success yet. So you focus on these little things, and that's what keeps you going, and just enjoy the process. Remember to not think about the numbers. While they're important, don't think about it. Keep going, and that's how you get to where you want to get to. That is really trusting the process. And in conclusion, it's just like you have to have that like mindset. You have to sacrifice. You have to have the long-term mindset. You have to have a plan. Don't do too much at once. And just focus on the small stuff, you know, wins. And don't get too fussed about small things. Remember that there's going to be that gray period in whatever you do that's new, that you want to achieve something big in, and that's going to be life. But I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Any comments or questions, leave down below. And if there's a will, there's a way. Either way, guys, have a good one. Cheers.